So I've got Joe Norris from Get Your Tips Out, who provide daily football tips. And today's video is around correct scores. So Joe, you've had many a times where you've had 4 and 5 kind of selection winners up on the correct scores, which is unbelievable. So talk us through how you go about choosing the game's correct scores. Like, is there any kind of plot that you have, anything that you're looking for? Is it just literally just predictions of what you think the outcome's going to be on each game?
So with this one, I think it comes down to you sort of have to look at the game first before you think about the score. So do you think both teams are going to score? Do you think there's going to be like over 2.5 goals? So you have to sort of go through each of the factors in your head and then the reasoning why. And then after I've done that, then I'll come down to the score, the correct score. And then obviously, if you put them in a multiple with 2 or 3 other games, you're looking at absolutely huge odds. So it's a small stake for an incredible return, really.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know, it's different. Like, I'm sure you've got a different technique, but I kind of go after the games where I think it's going to be quite a tight game.
Yeah.
And I normally go for, I seem to like going for the 1-1 scorelines, if I'm being honest. Normally it's around 6-1.
Yeah.
And I'm normally putting 4 or 5 teams in there. But again, I like my kind of multiplier bet. So I'll put it into like a lucky 15, or if it's going to be 5 selections, into a lucky 31. So if 1 comes up, I'm getting a return. If 2 comes up, I'm getting like singles and doubles. If I manage to get 3 up, great. 4 up is like, wow, 5. If I get all 5 up, I've not yet got all 5 up, but if I ever did, I'd be on the beach.
No, yeah, that's quite a good way of looking at it. And for me, I'll usually look for one game that I think is going to be tight. And like you said, 1-1 is normally the scoreline I like doing as well for that game. Then the next game, I'll be looking at one where I sort of fancy goals. So then I'm looking at a 3 or a 4-1. For me as well, I always try and look for home teams that I think are going to win. For whatever reason, I like putting them in like a 3-1 at home or a 4-1 at home into the combination. Yeah, but you know, like a lot of bets, you're going to need a lot of luck with this one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're more hardcore than me. You're going with the accumulator 4-folds and stuff like that. I like permutating my bets and stuff like that with doubles and trebles. But another one I quite actually like doing is if like a decent team are playing a team towards the bottom. So let's say someone's playing a Crystal Palace or a Burnley, and they're up there in the league, and you knowing that they're going to sit tight. Sometimes I like them games going after like a 2-0 or 3-0 where there might be a holding out for 60 minutes and the Man City managed to grab a goal, and then they go and like convincingly going at the second goal, and then they're almost sat back then going, we've done our job, we're just going to happy with a 2-0 win. So sometimes I like a 2-0 victory where a top team are playing a team towards the bottom that are like banking 5 defenders and trying to keep it tight. Never really even going to score the goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes with this bet as well, I might actually place it twice. And then that gives me the option of one to cash out and then make some profit on that, and then to let one run as well. I feel like, obviously, we're just looking at small stakes for this. But I feel like that's a good option because, obviously, a lot of people get tempted by the cash out on this because it can, you know, if you've got 10 minutes to go and it's looking like it's going to come in, there's always normally a late goal that will kill it. Whereas if you sort of got the bet twice, just for small stakes, then at least it gives you an angle where you can take one and make some profit.
Yeah, I never thought about doing that. That's a great way of thinking about it as well, especially on the correct scores. Like you said, majority of the time, it could be anything from 5-1 up to 14-1 per game of what you're choosing, depending on what scoreline you're going for. So, yeah, I never even thought of doing, instead of doing, let's say, a £10 bet, doing 2 £5 bets. And if you're getting close to the last 10 minutes, you can cash out on one of them and keep the other there. These partial cash outs, but they don't normally offer as much as the full cash out. So, yeah, it's a good way of putting it. It's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
So if anyone's looking to get Joe's daily football tips predictions, we've got a page, a link in the description, where Joe provides all of his correct score football tips on a day-to-day basis.